Hi everyone, welcome to another video. I have Demos here. Demos is from Greece.
Hi,
and he is doing civil engineering at Purdue. He joined in fall 18. While he was coming here, he asked a lot of questions to us on Gradly, and that's how I got to know him. And since I'm graduating this time, he was like, let's meet and let's catch up before you leave. So we both were having a conversation at the coffee place just now about how US education is so different than European education.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't say that it's different, but there are some advantages and some disadvantages that someone should know before taking a good opinion and deciding what to do.
So Demos, I would love if you could introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like what you have done in your undergrad, where you are exactly from, which city, and why did you choose the United States to come and study?
Yeah. So my name is Demos, and I am from Greece. I did my bachelor's in civil engineering and my master's in geotechnical engineering, which is like the subdivision of civil engineering. I did that in Greece. Originally, I am from Athens, which is the capital of Greece, in case that you don't know. Also, I want to say hi to my mom because I always want to do something like that. So, since I was like an undergrad and a graduate level student, I felt that always US is like the place to be. Industry here, the amount of projects that you are exposed as a professional or like a student during your graduate studies. So I said, okay, I would like to go to the US. So I was lucky enough to have professors in Greece who studied here in the US, PhDs and masters. I had some friends back in Greece, and everyone used to say, you know, US is the place to go. If you want to do things in your life, US is the place to go. But since I am from Europe, there is always like a mixed feeling, saying that, okay, you know, in Europe we have good enough universities. If you look at the rankings, you see most of them in the top 20s, top 50s, and probably you compare them to like MIT, Columbia, and such universities, and probably depends on the rank that you see. Probably some of these universities are above some of the big labels of here. And saying, what should I do? And
well, one quick note here, since he is from Greece and for any European citizen in Europe, all the college education is free. Almost.
It's almost free. You have to pay every year like 500 to 1,000 euros per year, which is
It's nothing. It's like 1 month of rent.
500
euros.
And also rent is cheaper than US. Living expenses are cheaper than US. You are always closer to your home and to your origin rather than
but US. Taxes are higher.
Yeah, but this is not something that you concern. You have
because your healthcare is free and education is free.
Yeah, healthcare is free. You don't have to pay money for your healthcare, which is like a big case here in the US. When I was about to take that big decision, I put all things down and I said, okay, let's bring down opposites and negatives. So obviously the biggest disadvantage of studying in the US is that you're like far from home, far from family. You have to, this is what you need to sacrifice. But on the other hand, if you want to do things for your life and as I said before, being exposed to huge projects and working for things, you go, let's say, civil engineer, okay? You admire all these skyscrapers, all these huge bridges. Yeah, you cannot do that in Europe.
Yeah. So at least for civil engineering people in Europe, there's a lot of work which is just on the buildings that are already there. Like reworking on the things which are already there. There's not a lot of new construction.
No, and usually all the knowledge is imported from US.
Yes.
Most of the companies that do the heavy stuff, okay, they do the heavy duty, they're branches of US based companies. Like they have branches in US. And the biggest advantage of studying in the US is that, as I said to Parth before, is that if you want to unlock US industry, you have to be a product of the US educational system. So if you are from Europe, if you study in Europe, even if you are the most successful guy in your class, even if you are the most successful guy in the whole university, in the whole country, okay, it's difficult to land a good full-time position in the US because you have to be a product of the US educational system. And this is not the case vice versa. So if you study here in the US doing bachelor's or master or whatever level of studies, okay, you can land a job everywhere because they say, oh yeah, this guy has like US in his CV.
Yeah, and like a brand name of a university along
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. Oh yeah, we know that university. We can take that guy. He studied in the US. Probably he knows a lot. But this is not the case because knowledge is the same everywhere. But this is a barrier that you have to meet when you are trying to connect yourself with industry. And
So I got a message from a person that I have a friend, she's in France and she wants to move to the US for her internship. I told that it is very impossible to cross that barrier unless like you are extremely talented, because US has already so many students from these universities, so many international students, American students, so many talented students, and it is easier for them to move to a different city in the US rather than a person moving completely to a different country in altogether. And then there are visa regulations. Then this is a big thing that US companies always like to hire the people they like. If you have interned in a company, they would love to hire you, and that is not possible if you are studying in France because you would have to come on a different visa. That is a big barrier as well. Even for an international student, the salary would be lower as compared to a person who doesn't need the visa, because in H1B application it costs them 5,000 to 10,000 US dollars.
it is
that they take that money out of your salary, and once you get H1B, your salaries are usually bumped up.
And usually guys think, okay, if visa is my problem, I can pay for that. But this is not how the system works. You have to find a sponsor to pay for your visa. You cannot provide the money for yourself. And at the same time, as I said before, if you are the best candidate for a job, and if you go to LinkedIn and say, okay, you know, this guy is from US, and I can compare my status and my profile with him or with her, and I see that I am even better. The fact is that industry here in the US, they believe a lot in the quality of their educational system, and they don't think that they can compare that quality with any other university in the world. So probably you see a guy with like, I don't know that university in the US, how that can compete Cambridge or Imperial or TUM in Munich. But they believe a lot in their education.
And strong education background.
And they think, okay, we don't need like to import guys from US. And at the same time, as you said before, all these visa costs, all this paperwork handling for an international student, and like a company that wants to process all this legal stuff, it takes a lot of time. It needs
money, lawyer, specific, and if it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through. Because H1B is like not a short thing.
It's a lottery.
Now, a lot of people do this, that they set standards based on computer science students, and you shouldn't do that if you're not from CS. Like, do not match yourself from a CS student, because it's easier for a CS student to bring their skills, because it is scalable and it is same across the world. But for a civil engineering guy or a mechanical engineering guy, where standards are different in Europe, where standards are different in US, it is not easy to make that transfer.
You have to learn new codes, you have to learn new building codes, and this is not something, the knowledge is applicable everywhere. You learn the same things all over the world, but this is a minor barrier that you have to cross. And
I was just going through a couple of emails yesterday, and I came across an email which I sent to my professors to asking them whether I should go to TU Delft in Netherlands or I should come to Purdue, and they both very strongly said, go to US, it will be good for your path in the future. Because getting a job as compared to Europe, it is much easier in the US if you're studying here.
I couldn't agree more, and this is not like a message to discourage a lot of people, but unfortunately this is the reality. And
like, there are a lot of things which are bad about the US. Gun laws, it is so expensive to study here. and a lot of competition as well. But we are just telling you the truth. I applied to universities in Sweden. I did not go there because I knew that it would be a problem for me and I'll have to learn the language, and then I might find a job and might not find a job. But here, there's the chances of getting a job is much higher, and getting more opportunities is much higher as well. Like we were discussing that how there's so many intelligent people around, and there's so many people who are doing different kind of researches which doesn't completely match with European Union.
No. Yeah, I agree to that, and this is what you should know when you have that dilemma. Okay, Europe or US. It's so many things that someone has to process before taking like the best decision, or taking the best decision that someone thinks it's better for itself. But at the end, I think, as you said, the thing that you meet so many smart guys, and you are exposed to a new educational system, have to adapt to a new educational system, new standards, to new language. This is something that you have to do anywhere in the planet. Yeah, but there are all the other things that you should have in mind. So if you want to be a professional and you want to do your master's just to land a good job, yeah, Europe is not the best idea right now.
I'm not the one who's saying it.
No, it's if you want to compare the industry, I mean, Europe has some great universities. I was thinking Imperial College of London, and I was thinking Delft, and I said, okay, Delft, I like so much the civil engineer at the master's program at
It's one of the best in the world.
Yes, it is. But I said to my mind, okay, I want to find a job. So if I had to compare the industries and the opportunities that I get, usually I would not be able to achieve the same things.
Right.
As being a graduate student of an alumnus of a US university or a European one. And as I said to you before at the coffee house, someone says things as follow. So you say that I will go to Europe because living expenses are lower. I don't have to pay tuition. I don't have to pay health for my health. I don't have to pay a lot of things. But European universities, they don't provide the same assistantship and funding opportunities as the US universities do. So,
yeah, like Germany, it's an outlier since there is free education there. But otherwise, yes. One thing which I would just mention as a closing remark here, that if you are planning to do research long term, I would say that Europe is a great choice as well.
Yeah, because if you want to do research, it doesn't matter the university. Knowledge is everywhere. What matters is the professor. What matters is the research that the professor does, the topic that you want to study. I know DTU in Denmark, they do some high-level stuff in mechanical engineering, and in some mechanical engineering and civil engineering fields, that things are so innovative, where a lot of professors here in the US, they always referring this stuff. So you say, okay, you know, in Denmark you have the best things, you do the great things, and research is a different topic.
Alright, that is it for this video. This video just happened really quickly because we were just discussing, and I thought this is such an important topic for everyone to listen to, and since it is coming from somebody who has like born and raised in European Union, it is important for that we listen to his word as well. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks to Demos as well.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for hosting me to your vlogs, and I think that this information would be helpful and useful for some guys, because I know that this is the time during summer where a lot of guys thinking about, okay, I should start applying, make the good decision.
Alright, see you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and until then, I'll see you.